I brought my own stopwatch to make sure I didn't go over time. And thank you for allowing me to take a few minutes this evening and discuss Proposition R. I'm a father, a husband, a grandfather, a Southbay resident in Chula, Vista since 1975. I have several grandchildren. I'm a voter, a citizen. I'm a graduate of Southwestern College, and I'm also an employee of Southwestern College. But this evening I come to you as a taxpayer and a concerned citizen about Proposition R. I'm concerned with Proposition R and the $389 million tax increase that's being proposed to be placed upon our residents and businesses in the South Bay. This would place a fifth bond tax on my property and would bring the total to the bonds that we have passed since 1998 to $1.4 billion in just 10 years. This is everybody that's paying. If you live in the city of Chula Vista, you've got a Chula Vista Elementary School bond tax. This is in tough economic times. People are losing jobs, they're being cut back or laid off. Energy costs are high, and I question why we need another tax increase on my property and your property. The premise for this $380 million tax increase is the potential growth or the growth to 50,000 students at the college in the year 2020 or by the year 2020. This was presented in the governing board newsletter that was handed out in August. In September this month, on the 8th, there were 2 forums for a white paper presented as 50,000. And most recently, if you haven't received it, in this brochure it talked about us going to 50,000 students. Currently, our college has a population, a nose count, not seat count, but nose count of 24,500 students. In order to reach that 50,000 by 2020, that'd be an increase of 104% of the student population. Each of the next 12 years would have to grow by 8.6% or 2,100 students each year. Over the past 4 years, since 2004, we have grown 10% combined, or 2,200 students. This is far below the 2,100 that we need for the next 12 years, each of those years. And according to the Southwestern College Educational and Facilities Master Plan, the South Bay is growing at a 1.39% growth, which is below the state average. And if you use that to strictly population, would still only have 28,900 students by the year 2020. Another argument, I think, is the truth in advertising. In this brochure, it talks about many projects that need to be done. One is the San Ysidro Center. And it says repair, upgrade, and replace systems to provide technology, enhanced learning environment, install wiring upgrades to improve internet access and wireless and cable technology, replace old computers and acquire instructional materials, expand parking facility to increase student access and convenience, create pedestrian crosswalks to ensure student safety, provide new instructional materials to classroom and laboratories to replace obsolete equipment that cannot be repaired. Now on the surface it sounds good, but because I work there, I know that that center was torn down last year. It is being built as we speak. It's not occupied, it's not open, and when it opens in January 2009, everything will be new. Because we're already ordering, have ordered computers, the technology, the internet access, everything's on order. Everything will be brand new when we move in January 2009. So I asked the question, if I didn't know better, I'd be none the wiser, and I'd say, yes, we need to equip it, but it will be equipped. The numbers in this one example of San Ysidro simply do not add up and brings the whole proposition into question as to whether this is a necessary new tax. Along with other questionable arguments presented in the brochure, supporting the proposition compels me as a voter to take a stand and vote no on R, and encourage everyone to do a thorough examination of the proposition, learn the facts, and decide whether to support this additional tax increase. We do need to invest in education in the South Bay and the college, but not at this cost, not at this time, and not with these arguments and not with these numbers. Thank you very much this evening.
Well, Oh, don't go? Are there any questions for Mr. Norris? I see Mitch Thompson. Your question is, sir?
I've been paying a lot of attention to this particular
Come on,
proposition.
come on.
Come on.
Right. We only have one mic, sorry.
You're fine.
Well, as a candidate, I'm not trying to do a candidate piece here right now, but as a candidate for Southwestern Community College Board, I've spent a lot of time looking at this proposition, read the master plan in detail, and have done a lot of back and forth, and I actually met with the superintendent, spent about an hour.
And your question is?
Yes. Did you know that the proposition amounts to $59,000 per full-time equivalent student that exists at this college today, which is about 7,000? Did you know that it equals $32,000 if you increase it up to $18,000? That's $32,000 per student. And the other thing I'd say is being in construction and development, the estimates are exceedingly high. For instance, the corner lot at Southwestern is over about $700 per square foot of construction.
Mr. Thompson has just modeled what would not be a question.
I was trying to make a question.
Yeah. So thank you for your question, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson's question actually was whether or not you're aware that you need 59,000 equivalent FTEs when you currently have 7,000 FTEs to be able, and so, yes. You want to respond?
Is that a lot?
I don't know about that because I don't deal with that at my employment. What I do know is in 1988, we had a census population on campus of just over 14,000 students. 20 years later, we had a census count of 20,000. So in 20 years, the college grew in census by 6,000 students, or 300 students a year. So that 20,000 that needs to get to 50,000 in 12 years, that's a huge number. And I don't know how the college is going to do that. Population isn't going to do that, and the master plan says we need to come up with creative ways to increase attendance and enrollment, but I haven't seen anything from the college, so I just don't know how we're going to get 30,000 students in 12 years. And I'm sorry, but I've got 4 property taxes or bond taxes on my property now. I don't need a fifth.
What a great answer. Right after you, sir, is gonna, we have one, and then you're the third question. Yes, sir, can you please stand? Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm going to ask a question, what's the basis of your numbers, and you answered it for me. Your projections, because I had the same concern. We're in a different time, and population growth in San Diego, Southbay is not going to grow. So the money's not there.
Thank you for your great question. Yes, yes,
Mine
sir.
is I like to hear somebody who supports this. I don't. But my question is there anybody in this audience that supports it? I like to hear from them.
Actually, I was going to do that, but we decided that we extended a full invitation to the proponents of Prop R, and they chose not to be here for whatever reason. They have very well-financed consultants advising them on how to proceed, and so we will send out information. All of you had a chance to sign in. We will send out information about Prop R, but at this time we've decided not to have a formal voice for Prop R because both DECOM, who's chairing the committee, and the representative, which is an employee of the district, a manager, were going to be here, and they chose not to come. So we're going to move on, but I appreciate your sentiment.
My question is, why are we holding this discussion?
Well, we have to hold a discussion as a courtesy to Mr. Norris, because he came. So I didn't want to just send him home. But I appreciate your input.
I strongly oppose it.